this tutorial we're going to be looking at how rice paper can be used as a way of decorating cakes. Now, contrary to popular belief, rice paper is actually made from potato starch and not rice. You might be familiar with this as a product if you've ever made box sets of cupcakes, the kind where everything's already mixed and you have to pierce out little designs or pictures, normally of cartoon characters, to add on top of your cakes once they're baked using water icing. Now, in order to get those lovely printed images onto rice paper for those little cake sets, you have to use a very specialised printer and edible ink to be printed onto the rice paper. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do that for this qualification because that would cost you a lot of money and it's quite a specialised thing to do, but there is another way around it. Here I've bought a pack of rice paper in A4 sheets. It's fairly affordable online, and I'm just using my food colouring gels. Now, these are great, the gels, because they're such vibrant colours. They come out really strong. Using a paintbrush that's brand new, so it's not been used for anything else for hygiene reasons, you can paint straight onto the rice paper. Now, if you are using gels, like I say, the colour is really concentrated. If you're using more liquid form food colouring, you'll find that it comes out a lot more easily on the rice paper. So there is a way around this. If you've ever used watercolour or acrylic paints, you'll know that by adding water, you can get a more fluid motion with the paint. Effectively, the same rule applies here. So here you can see the gel is coming out quite thick, but actually if I add a bit of water on the paintbrush, or by mixing a bit of the gel into some water, I'm going to be able to then have more fluid motion with my paints and be able to paint more easily. You can also get different tones from it as well. Now, if you didn't want to buy specialised rice paper, you could just explore this technique using either food colouring or gels or even watercolour paints on paper. It still gives you a sense of how you could apply this in a decorative way to decorate a cake. This is a technique to just have a bit of fun with. So you might decide to cut out some smaller shapes from your rice paper, or you could consider making a large painting to go on a big cake. You might want to design this on paper first. If you do, make sure you take a photo and include that with your photo gallery as extra evidence of your design work. You could be really creative with this. Obviously, I've just stuck to a small bunch of flowers in a vase here, nice and simple, but you could really explore mixing colours, blending, getting different tones. Treat it as its own piece of artwork. You might even try experimenting by mixing colours together to see what new blends you can get as well, especially if you've only got a few different food colours or gels to work with in the first place. Any technique like this, especially cake decorating, it is a case of practice makes perfect. It might not be great to begin with, but the more you play around and experiment with the different tools and